10.1 Triangles, Chapter 10 in our pre-algebra book. This is the last chapter of the year for us this year. All right, so your last set of notes. Starting out, we need to know, because it's going to ask us to classify triangles by their sides, or they'll say classify this triangle by its angles, or maybe it'll say both, classify it by its sides and angles. And here are the three types of answers that you will give. If it asks to classify a triangle by its angles, here are your three angles that you need to write down, know, and memorize. If it is an acute angle, it's a cute little angle. That means it is less than 90 degrees. Not less than or equal to, it cannot be 90 degrees. It has to be less than 90 degrees. Or you're going to have an obtuse. Obtuse, obese, obtuse, a big one. Obtuse, that's greater than 90. That we have. The third option is the right triangle. And if it's a right triangle, it has to have an angle. One of the angles has to be exactly 90 degrees. All right? So if it's an acute little triangle, all the angles, or it has angles are less than 90 degrees. Obtuse, greater than 90. It has an angle that's greater than 90. Or right triangle, one that's exactly 90 degrees. Classify it by an equilateral. Isosceles and scalene are classifying them by sides. If all the sides are exactly the same, then it is an equilateral. So make sure you get these three in your notes. If it's an isosceles, two sides are equal. If it is a scalene triangle, none of the sides are the same. It has no equal sides. All right, so if you're classifying by angles, these are your three choices: acute, obtuse, or right. If you classify it by sides, you'll have to tell me if it's either equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. Sometimes they say, tell me both. So maybe it'll be an acute equilateral. Maybe it'll be an obtuse or a right obtuse. Can I have a right obtuse? Can I have a right obtuse? No, why not? Because right and obtuse are both angles. You have to have one from here and one from here if you're going to classify it by its sides and angles. All right? So you could have a right isosceles. That might work. All right? Over here they tell us example number 1. It says in this diagram, the measure, this means measure of angle ABC. ABC. So the one that's in the middle, the B, this angle is what? What are they telling us? ABC, so the one in the middle, the B, is 44 degrees. The measure of angle BAC, so BAC, the A is, or excuse me, where am I here? The A is in the middle. So this one, and then BCA, this angle here, what do they tell us about those two? They are equal. So this angle and this angle, we draw a little line, we know that they're equal. They're congruent, those angles are equal. Find the measure of BAC and BCA. So if we know these two are equal, and we only have this angle, can we figure out what those two missing angles are?
Yes.
Yes. How? Exactly. Because triangles, the angles all add up to 180. So if we have, if these are both x, we don't know what they are if you're setting up an equation, x plus 44, and I can say x and x because they're equal. Now I have 2x plus 44 equals 180. Subtract 44, what does 2x equal? Class, what does it equal?
136.
136 divided by 2.
58.
X equals
58.
68. So x equals 68. What does that mean? 68 what? Degrees. Yes. Calculator's out. Does that add up? 68 plus 68 plus 44. Does that equal 180? All right, so check point 1 and 2. Find the value of x, then classify the triangle by its angle measures. So in that last example, what do we know about these three angles? Together they what? They equal 180. So we start out 48 plus 3x plus this 3x. I add all those three angles, that's going to equal 180. Combine like terms. Now I have 48 plus what?
6x.
6x equals 180. What do I do now?
Subtract 48.
Yep, good job. Subtract 48. Now I have 6x equals
132.
132. X equals what? 22 what? 22 degrees. Am I done though? I know what x is. It says find the value of x, then classify the triangle by its angle measures. So I found out that x equals 22, so I'm partway done. So my angles, my three angles are 48 degrees, then they're 22 and 22. Is that what you want to say? Yes or no? No. We know x is 22, so what is 3 times 22? 3 times 22. 66 and 66. Add those up, you get 180. Now we need to classify it by its angles. So it's either a right, an obtuse, or a cute little angle. What would we classify these as? Is there any one angle in there that's exactly 90 degrees? No, so we know it can't be a right angle. Is there a right triangle? Is there one angle in there that's over 90 degrees?
No.
So it can't be what? Can't be obtuse. So it must be what? It's an acute. It is an acute triangle. They're all less than 90 degrees. Questions on number 1? We're going to have to add our 3x plus 6. That's one of the angles. We have to add that to our 2x plus 24, and that equals what? These three equal what?
180.
Yes, 180. Now combine like terms because there's nothing to distribute here. I have a 3x here and a 2x here. How many x's? Good, I have 5x. Combine my constants, what do I get? 24 and 6 is?
30.
Okay, so plus 30 equals 180. Now what? Nice. Subtract 30. 5x equals 150. What does x equal, class? 30 degrees. Okay, I've solved for x. Now, let's find the measure of all my angles. Well, this one's easy. It's 24 degrees. What's this one? What's this measure? What's the measure of this angle right here?
60.
60, because 2 times 30 is 60. And the measure of my third angle is what?
96.
3 times 30 is 90 plus 6, you say 96. Do those equal the 180?
Yep.
Yes, they do. So now we need to classify it. Raise your hand if you think it's a right triangle. Good, nobody has their hand up because there's not one that is exactly 90 degrees. How about obtuse? Everybody's hands up. Good. Why is it obtuse? What angle in here makes it obtuse? This 96 right here makes it an obtuse triangle. So our answers here, x equals 30. Here are all my my angles of the triangle, and then we classified it as obtuse. We're classifying it by its what? Is that obtuse by its sides or its angles? By its... Is obtuse classifying it by its sides or angles? Angles, yes. Perimeter, adding up the outside.